Hey there. Have you ever wondered how some coaches, healers, or course creators seem to be everywhere all at once? Like, how do they manage to post all that cool stuff on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and even send out amazing emails? Well, guess what? There is a super smart trick to doing this, and it's called repurposing your content. Want to know how you can do it too and reach more people without doing a ton of extra work? Well, stick around because we're about to dive into some amazing secrets using our buddy ChatGPT that will help you spread your awesome content further, content that you already have. So I'm continuing my series again with on how to update your content. And today we're really going to dive into content repurposing. So these are actually strategies that you can use with your content that you're creating now and for content that you already have that you know is great content, but it just isn't getting the visibility that it needs to have. So the first thing I really want to kind of go into for those of you who don't know, what is content repurposing? Well, it's really using the same piece of content in different formats and on different platforms. So a good example would be what I normally do, what I'm actually going to do with this piece of content that I'm creating here. So where is it going to go? Well, right now I'm sitting here videoing it. And what this piece of content is going to end up is in multiple places, actually lots of places, because I'm taking this video and I'll be turning it into a podcast. I'll be turning it into a blog post. Then I will be creating short form content from it, social media content. So it's going to show up on YouTube, my podcast, my blog, all across my social media platforms so that I can reach a wider audience. And that is really the benefit of repurposing your content. So if you've got some great content that's in your file drawer and you know it's still really good, but you haven't created a video for it, I'd get started creating a video for any piece of content that you know has good traffic and it's still evergreen, which means it's standing the test of time. I've got a whole nother article on that, and you can see that right down in the link below if you want to know all about evergreen content and why you should be creating that. But for right now, we're going to be talking about repurposing content. And really, why you want to do this because you really want to breathe new life into your old content without having to create a whole new entire piece of content. And by showing up in different platforms such as a blog, a podcast, and YouTube, you can enhance and reach more people and be able to share your knowledge and position yourself as the authority so that you can build your business and get more clients. So let's dive into some of the strategies that I suggest you should use for repurposing your content. So I always want to start with repurposing top content. So if you've got blog posts and things like that that are just written piece of content, you're going to want to go in there and make a list of the top pieces of content using Google Analytics to see if it's really performing well. Then you're going to break it down and reformat it. So you're going to take those blog posts and start by creating videos for that because it's so easy now to take a single video, turn it into a podcast, short form video using one of my favorite tools called Clap App. And I've got that link down below in the notes for you because it makes creating shorts out of your long form video a snap. And that is a key to getting a ton of views right now. So you're going to want to do that. You're going to enhance it with multimedia by adding new photos, things like that. That will help go a long way to making it a lot more appealing to a wider audience because frankly, you're going to have some people that still want to read stuff, but then there's going to be people that are going to want to listen to a podcast and other people are going to be searching for a solution to their problem on YouTube. So people are looking for you on many platforms or looking for someone to be their go-to person. That's why you really want to repurpose your content and show up everywhere in the most easiest and effective way to do it. Okay. So let's dive in and talk a little bit about using ChatGPT to simplify the repurposing how to do it faster, right? So this is exactly how I would do it, how I do it, how I tell my clients to do it, my students to do it is I will go in and identify an older piece of content that is only a written blog post because for a long time I was only doing written posts. I've got a lot of those. So I would go in and see what those are. Well, now with AI, I've got a whole new topic to talk about. So I would go into that older piece of content, copy and paste it right into ChatGPT, tell it to write me a script, but now talk about instead, take the topic and talk about ChatGPT or AI in that content, and it will come up with a brand new script outline. Then next thing I do is edit that a little bit, then I'm ready to go. I sit down like I'm doing here right now and I film it. And I've got a whole new piece of content in video format that I can use the video, the audio for my podcast, and create all kinds of short form content that not only can I put it on YouTube, I can then expand my reach out on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, everywhere where video can go. And I have found that I'm getting a ton of traction when I do the video rather than just sharing a little bit of written content. So that's what you really want to do. And using ChatGPT, it took me about less than 5 minutes to create that script. It was really like 90 seconds because to do it, for it to actually spit out that. Then I sit down and maybe spend about 3 to 4 minutes at the most, just going through it and adding in my edits before I go and film it. The longest piece of time really is me sitting here talking and giving you, going through the topic as I've got my outline in front of me and whatever I need to record to say to get my point across. Okay. That's the longest part, which could be 10 to 15 minutes. It does not need to be an hour long. And that takes the most time of all. And then once I've got that done, I get the transcript, and that gives me all of the other pieces that I need to take it and repurpose it into a YouTube video, a blog post, a podcast episode, and an email to my list. And then from there, it goes into my 12x content repurposing system where I create short form content, blog post, post for social media and everything on that. And that takes really no time at all. I think the other day I've been working through doing that on my own, and now with ChatGPT, I think in about 10, 15 minutes for one piece of content, I had like 30 or 40 pieces of content, which is pretty amazing because I don't know about you, before ChatGPT came along, I would just struggle with writing social media. I like to write, but I'm a better editor. And now with ChatGPT and all of the prompts that I teach inside my AI enhanced content creation series, I just plug in my simple prompts and it comes up with a ton of content. So like in 10 minutes or less, I think I can have like 30 to 40 pieces of content all generated and ready to go into the next phase, which would be creating graphics and then scheduling it out on social media. So again, it's easier than you think it is because you just have to have the right prompts and a little system to help you do all of this, but it can go a long way. So I'm a big believer in your content out on social media needs to totally relate to what you're doing. And most people do this the wrong way, like what I think is the wrong way or the hard way is by creating little pieces of content every single day and putting it out on social media rather than just taking one piece of content a week, a longer form that you can put everywhere and create short form content from it, and then automate it so that it goes out every single day for you without having to create something new. So it's getting more of a bigger bang with a longer piece of content cut up into or creating all these other pieces. And then your presence out on social media becomes way more cohesive with what you do in your business. And now, with the fact that it's so easy to get a transcript of any kind of video that you do, that's the key to creating content that doesn't sound like you. That's why I always say start with a video and then use that to create your content, because then you don't have to worry about it sounding like something that is just AI generated. It's really you speaking it and taking your voice and taking it and creating more content with it. You'd be surprised at how great of a job with the right prompts ChatGPT does to creating social media tips, quotes from your own content just based off of a transcript. And that is really the way I look at ChatGPT and helping you to create content is and making it original to you. So again, that's really how I take a piece of content and reformat it into multiple formats. So, and again, one of the things that's really great about this, as I mentioned before, the way I do it by using your own transcript, it maintains a quality of content across all your platforms. It keeps your brand voice consistent. It really showcases who you are, how, and shares your energy and your stories and your voice at a much better way than just written content can. So what I mean there is that's why video is so important these days, because it's much better at, and it's a lot easier than sitting down at a keyboard and trying to figure out what to write. It's easier to come up with a topic, sit down and talk about it because it's stuff you do every single day. And again, it helps you stay creative and not feel like you're staring at a blank cursor. So that's a wrap on how to expand your online presence by repurposing your content across different platforms. And with these strategies that I shared today, not only can you save time and reach more people, but you can make sure that your awesome content gets the attention it deserves. And remember, ChatGPT is really here to help make your process a breeze. Think of it as your assistant to help you come up with the ideas and also to take your transcripts and create beautiful masterpieces that you can share out on social media of the content that you've already created. So I hope you're excited about using ChatGPT and and convinced that it can help you create your content faster and easier. So to help you out, I've got right down below a link to my guide on how to update your content the fast and easy way. There's some prompts in there. I talk about how to use video and all of that. Everything that I am sharing here inside this today is all in that guide in more detail. So the link is right down below, and you can go grab it there and start updating your content the fast and easy way with ChatGPT. So before we conclude, I've got some commonly asked questions about content repurposing. So the first question really is, what is content repurposing and why should I do it? So content repurposing, again, involves taking a single piece of content, and most often it's taking probably a blog post that you wrote several years ago that's evergreen, and you adapt it for use in different formats and various platforms. So it could be turning that written piece of blog post, blog post, sorry, I'm tripping up on my words, turning that written blog post into a YouTube video, and then into some Instagram posts, some shorts, and even an email newsletter and a podcast. And doing this allows you to show up in a wider audience with a single piece of content, which is your video that you can easily turn into a audio and all this other stuff so that you can be present and be like those people that you see out there showing up every single way, everywhere. So, and doing this now with ChatGPT is so easy. It saves you time and effort. And when you recycle your older content, it enhances your online presence and builds your authority in your niche when you can show up on multiple platforms. Because trust me, your clients are everywhere. They are on all those platforms. And maybe somebody watched something that you had out on YouTube and then they listen to your podcast. They might hear it a little bit differently than when they saw it on your YouTube. You never know. Or somebody could be a YouTube person and other people could be podcast people. So how do all those people on another podcast ever going to know you if you're not creating content out there? So the next question is, how do I identify which content I should be repurposing? So what I always say is start by identifying your top content. So look at what are your most popular blog posts or even social media posts or emails. Those would be giving you ideas of what your audience is interested in, those topics. Those would be the pieces that you want to repurpose into more pieces of content. So a good example would be I had a blog or a content upgrade or a opt-in on how to repurpose or how to update content. Well, all of a sudden, it just started taking off. People were interested in it. So I updated it, turned it into how to update your content using the easy way with AI. And then that led me to create a whole new series and to also go in and identify content that I knew I had created on this topic and update it so that it reflects to how I do it now, not what I used to do when I repurposed content or updated content before ChatGPT. Okay, so that's a good example. So I'm sure that you probably have stuff in your archives that you know is great content that might be only in written form, or you could have a YouTube video that's not on your blog. It could be, you could have a bunch of blogs and YouTube videos. We've done that before. Clients that have decided that they want to start a podcast, we've just turned all of those into podcasts without having to film a whole and new or record a whole new podcast episode. We just took the audio from the old YouTube videos and turned them into podcasts. So that to me is a great way to get started with identifying what you want to do, right? So one would be only written content, turn those into audio, to videos, and then you could have all of that waiting to then be repurposed into a podcast. Okay, so what are some strategies for repurposing content? That's another question that people have. Well, again, it's taking that blog post, turning it into video, turning it into a podcast, and creating all new social media stuff all around it. This is exactly what I teach inside my AI enhanced content creation series, which I've got the link right down below. And it is so easy to do that when you have the right set of prompts and content that's just sitting out there waiting for you to create brand new, fresh, and new pieces of social media content and breaking it down into simple YouTube or into shorts that you can use everywhere. And now there are so many tools, like I mentioned before, Clap app. And I've got that link right down below. It's a great tool for creating the best. I've tested many for creating shorts out of your long form content. I did one the other day for a client, and the day I put it out there, it got like 500 views just on YouTube. So if you're not doing that right now, that is something that you should be doing. It's a great repurposing strategy for your content, okay? And then another question that people have is, how can ChatGPT help me when it comes to repurposing content? Well, it can do all kinds of things like turning your blog post into a script, creating social media posts and email content for existing material, even giving you a whole new article. Like I could pop in an article and ask it to rewrite the article so it's optimized for a keyword in about 2 minutes. So there's so many ways that ChatGPT can help you do this and make it so fast and easy. And I go through all of that inside of my course, the AI Enhanced Content Creation Series, again, which I have a link right down below, and you can enroll in that program right now and learn how easy it is to update your content and repurpose it using AI. And don't forget, before I leave, don't forget to download, update your content the fast and easy way with ChatGPT to help you get started on your content creation journey. And again, inside of there, you can use all those chat prompts to help you repurpose and update your content the easy and fast way with ChatGPT. And that's it for now, and I will see you soon.